Howdy, howdy, everyone. Welcome to Inside Russia. My name is Konstantin, and I'm streaming live from the very heart of Russia, the capital of the country, Moscow. I am about 15 miles away from the Kremlin, so I can't be closer to the very heart of Russia than I am right now. I missed a few streams, 4 to be exact in a row, and I had a reason for that. Reason, nothing to worry about. I'm absolutely fine. All is well. I'm safe. No one knocked on my door. But I will explain what happened to me and why I did not stream in the past 4 days after I'm done with my message. And I have quite a message for you to tell. My friends, without further ado, I'd like to jump and tell you about potatoes and the crisis that is going on in Russia. Well, I want you to do this. Close your eyes right now and think of Russia. And not in the last 4 months type of thoughts, but in general. Close your eyes and think of Russia. What is the first thing that comes into your mind? Okay. I bet it's one of these things. Vodka, Saint Basil, Matryoshka, the Russian doll, balalaika, the Russian guitar, snow, bear or bears, gulag perhaps, and potato. Spud. Why? Because spud is probably the most Russian food there is. Spud is so popular here in Russia that we might as well put it onto our flag, okay, as a symbol of the country. Potato is something that is widely spread here in Russia, and it's something that keeps Russians from starving in the bad times, when the bad times come. And let me tell you, bad times come to Russia quite often. In the beginning of 20th century, the Bolshevik Revolution, then mid-century, World War II, then the 80s, total shortage of food. We'll see when another crisis comes. So potatoes is something that we all eat here in this country. And it comes, like, there are so many dishes. It's not like carrots that you can serve it just in one way and that's it. Potatoes come in 100 different dishes and they can be actually quite filling. They're cheap. Potato is cheap and, relatively cheap. And so many dishes can be made. For example, you peel a few spuds and then you boil. You take one herring, you pour a little bit of sunflower oil or olive oil over the potatoes, and voila, you have a dinner. That's a traditional Russian dinner. Or you boil a little bit of meat and you boil potatoes, boom. It's not the most sophisticated dish in the world, but hey, you know what? It keeps you well fed. It's cheap, plenty of calories, lots of energy, and grows everywhere. You can plant it yourself. As a matter of fact, I was introduced to planting potatoes and harvesting potatoes at a very young age, I think at the age of 5 or 6, because back in the USSR, most of Russians, most of Soviet people planted potatoes in May, harvested in September, and they would keep a few sacks that would supplement their diets, I guess, for the winters. And the winters are quite harsh here. So anyway, we all know that Russia is a country of potatoes. Food number one. We know that there are plenty of potatoes grown in Russia. I mean, everywhere. You go and I usually buy a sack of 10 pounds every week or something like that. And my wife Natasha, is a great cook, and she makes excellent potato dishes. And they're quite tasty, as a matter of fact, Anyway, why am I talking about potatoes? You got to understand that something unthinkable happened, in my eyes, a few days ago. You know, all of you have heard many times that McDonald's left Russia. But instead of just forfeiting business and writing off, McDonald's actually did a wise move. It sold entire business to a Russian. It used to be a franchisee, right? And the guy bought the whole business, meaning all the contracts with real estate, rents, all equipment inside, all infrastructure, logistics, everything. McDonald's had huge operation in Russia. Over 850 restaurants and 55 people employed. So huge, number one fast food chain. So this guy bought everything, rebranded the company. It's not McDonald's any longer. It has nothing to do with McDonald's whatsoever. It's a different company, but it's based on former McDonald's. And launched the company. Immediately, screw-ups started happening. For example, the moldy bun. You all have seen that, I'm sure. All over the news, all over the world, in every single country, even in New Zealand. I think New Zealand is the farthest country from us. And I saw that everywhere in the Western media. Moldy bun. Then another problem. Birds picking on buns, and then buns going back into operation. But you know what? I think those problems were not major and they were overblown because they were just mistakes of certain people. They were not company-wise system, so to speak. It's just things happen, okay? And this new company, Вкусная точка, okay, it's how it's called right now. It actually reacted. It said, please forgive us, that things happen, but we're working hard on fixing them. And that's okay. Things happen everywhere. Even McDonald's had problems like that. Doesn't matter. But McDonald's left, and this company is in operation, and, there are restaurants open in Moscow. I don't think in Moscow and St. Petersburg, I don't think any other cities still have restaurants open, which is to me very strange because even the old McDonald's employees came back. They're waiting to come back in other cities. At least there's not one McDonald's was open Rostov until I left a few days ago. About a week ago, rumors started spreading. Bloggers talking about that and news that Вкусная точка in the past used to be known as McDonald's, that company, the Russian fast food company, Вкусная точка, does not sell fries any longer. French fries. What? At first I thought it was a joke, I thought it was like moldy bun type of thing, that someone just forgot to supply potatoes, French fries for a day. But then no. People started reporting that French fries are not on sale any longer. And Вкусная точка released a public statement saying it will not sell French fries any longer because it's run out of potatoes. What? They don't have potatoes in the country of potatoes. No, Russia is number 3 producer of potatoes in the world after China and India. Number 3, okay? Potatoes are so widely common here that no one even talks about harvest of potatoes. Everyone talks about the wheat. Oh, this is a good year for wheat, bad year. No one talks about potatoes. It's always a good year. And all of a sudden, Вкусная точка says there's no potatoes. Well, that's official statement. So I got kind of anxious a little bit, and I decided to check on my own. Perhaps this shortage of potatoes. Hey, this is a year of global changes in a military conflict with anyone. But I never thought. So perhaps we run out of the potatoes, right? I next morning after I read, I went to a local store. I saw potatoes on sale, as usual. I asked, if they have, there's plenty of potatoes to buy wholesale. The stores, the moms and pop stores told me, the shopkeeper said, yeah, plenty of potatoes, no problem. I called my uncle, who's a farmer. I asked him if he had potatoes. He said, how much do you need? I said, well, I don't know. How much do you have? He goes, well, I can send you a truck full of potatoes. I can send you, it's old harvest. And we also have new harvest coming up in a month and a half. I can get you a few railroad cars full of potatoes. How much do you need? I said, okay, I got the idea. Then I figured, hey, perhaps Вкусная точка, they're saying that there's a certain brand sort of potatoes that's only used for French fries. Okay, that's possible. So I went to a local moms and pops joints that sell burgers and fries, and there are plenty on every corner. Fries are very, very, widely spread dish, so to speak. You can buy it in every corner. So I went to a place where they make burgers, and I asked them if they have fries. Of course they do. I asked them if they have shortage of potatoes. The guy looked at me like I was crazy, and he said, what? In Russia? Shortage of potatoes? It was no. Okay, fine. That's what I thought. I went to another place. Same thing. I asked about shortage of potatoes, looked at me like I was crazy, like, huh? Are you joking with us or something? So everyone sells potatoes. There's plenty of potatoes everywhere in every corner, and all restaurants, fast food restaurants, sell potatoes, French fries. And French fries is nothing but peeled potato that is cut and deep fried. That's it. So the next day after Вкусная точка released a statement, Ministry of Agriculture of Russia released counter statement because it got very upset about Вкусная точка saying there's shortage of potatoes of a special kind in Russia. And they gave the numbers. That's official government information. And this time I tend to agree with this, okay? I think it's true. That this year, the harvest of potato is expected to be 5%. Last year harvest was almost 5% more than the previous year. And this year, harvest is fine. It's expected to be, as usual, even a little above normal. And the tone of statement from Russian Ministry of Agriculture was actually quite angry. And they finished the statement, there's enough potatoes in Russia, period. Because the company that replaced McDonald's is called Tasty, period. So, see, that kind of goes along. So anyway, on one side, we have this situation, potatoes are sold everywhere. On another hand, we have a situation where former McDonald's, now Вкусная точка, does not sell potatoes and telling everyone that it doesn't have potatoes, right? Now, it turns out that all the potatoes, French fries that were sold in McDonald's were 85% grown in Russia and 15% imported, okay? So I don't really know why these people at Вкусная точка do not procure and sell French fries, because that's a huge part of their sales. Think about McDonald's not selling, or Burger King or KFC not selling French fries. Huge margin, meaning they buy it for like 10 rubles, they sell it for 110 rubles. There's like 90% markup or something like that. I'm just making this up, but it's a real cheap product to buy, and they sell it. They buy low, they sell high. So this is very crazy to me. Now, why? I started thinking, why Tasty period, Вкусная точка, cannot get potatoes, cannot get hold of potatoes to make French fries, to sell and make heaps of money. Why? The new owner just paid certain amount for this business, for this operation, And then he is driven to make as much as possible to get his return investments in, like to return his investments as soon as he can. It's just common sense. You're a new business owner, okay? Work as much as you can. Spread your operations onto the entire Russia. Right now, it's only Moscow and St. Petersburg. I don't understand why they haven't opened everywhere, because the restaurants are ready. McDonald's left. They just, they left and they locked up the doors and pretty much it. So all you have to do, unlock the doors, unroll the windows and boom, you're back in business. Now, I've been thinking, there are a few things. There are a few theories. First theory is, it's like a conspiracy theory. I'm not sure, again, it's very questionable, but somehow it can make sense. Now, listen, this Russian guy bought McDonald's. The price is unannounced. We don't know how much he paid. Perhaps he didn't want to buy. Perhaps he was recommended to buy this place, this business, McDonald's. And perhaps this guy doesn't really care about, running this business. Like, few restaurants in Moscow open, few in St. Petersburg are open. And then he just let the company run to, hired some people to run, and that's it. And he doesn't care. Because it just doesn't make any sense to me. A fast food joint that sells hamburgers runs out of potatoes, where you can go and buy potatoes on every corner and make fries yourself, okay? You're gonna make tons of money. Doesn't make any sense. Then perhaps there are some people, again, that's just speculations, conspiracy theory. Perhaps some people inside of this new company don't really like to sell French fries. Perhaps they just don't really like company to succeed, they sabotage. That's very unlikely, okay? Because, business is business. You gotta make money. You have KPI, you have milestones, plans you have to meet and so forth. But this is a theory. It's not the rocket science to procure potatoes and sell French fries, okay? Not the rocket science whatsoever. These guys who are on top of procurement for former McDonald's, now Вкусная точка, they're top dogs of the industry. You gotta understand that, If they were to place me as the director of procurement and give me the goal to procure as soon as possible to find potatoes, I would have done that in 7 days. And I'm not a specialist, but I'd be motivated enough to do that. And I'd go to the closest wholesale seller of potatoes, and I would make a deal with them, and voila, I would have potatoes delivered to me in a few days. Not a big deal. Вкусная точка claims only certain kinds of potatoes are used for French fries. Well, guess what? I went to local moms and pops potato burger joints, and I asked them what kind of potatoes do they use. There's a special French fries sort, or just anything. They just looked at me strange, like, what this guy said. We just go to a market and buy potatoes, and that's pretty much it. And I bought, and it tastes somewhat close to French fries that McDonald's or Вкусная точка McDonald's used to make and Вкусная точка makes now. So, their taste a little different, but it's like anywhere you go. You go to Burger King, potatoes, French fries taste a little different from McDonald's. You go to KFC, you go to, I don't know, someplace else, moms and pop, all different, okay? But French fries are French fries. This is crazy. It's not like, I don't know, truffles or black caviar or something like that. It's a French fries. It's potato. It's a choice between you don't sell any French fries or you sell French fries that taste a little tiny different from what they used to taste before. Where do you go? If you run a business, it's a no-brainer. But officially, Вкусная точка says that it's not going to sell fries until the new harvest, with this special this special sort of potatoes is harvested at the end of summer, perhaps late August, perhaps early September. I think allowing the weather allowing. So they're gonna wait for 2 more months, not selling French fries. How much money they're not gonna make? Basically, they're gonna lose. How much money? Think about this. This is crazy. This is the craziest thing I've ever heard. Have you heard anything like that? Please let me know in the comments, because it just does not make any business sense. Well, I tried to give you messages of different dimensions, okay? And this hasn't been my message. This is just explanation of the situation, okay? And that's pretty amusing and sad at the same time. But my stream is like an onion. I peeled one layer of skin and there's another layer underneath. So I started thinking, preparing for the stream, I started thinking, what's wrong with company like Вкусная Точка that cannot accomplish such a simple task? It's everything. It's former McDonald's, and McDonald's is one of the best run companies in the world. I'm not talking about food. Food, I don't ever eat McDonald's. Food is CARP. But the company shines, really shines. It's perhaps the best operated company in the world. Anyway, and this is what I thought, came up with. Russian businesses are very young. As business people, we Russians were born at 1991, when Soviet Union fell apart and we were allowed to do business. And all of a sudden, we woke up with this understanding that doing business is actually good. Doing business is creating something valuable, something good that you can sell to people. And if people buy it, it means you came up with something so good that people willing to pay money for that, okay? Before that, business was strictly illegal. People like buying, selling, producing things in their homes and trying to sell, make extra bucks. There were people like that, very few. They were caught and put to jail for many, many years, locked up behind the bars. Oh, forget it. There was someone would learn about you doing business. It was called underground business. Everyone would shame you. It was shameful. And all of a sudden, in 91, it became prideful. And the difference was overnight. It's a really tragedy, okay? It just breaks you psychology. It breaks your head. You think it's bad, and all of a sudden, boom, it's good. You can't turn on a dime like that, you know? Anyway, and we were born again businessmen, or born businessmen. Just like people are born again Christian, it doesn't matter what age you are. You can become a born again Christian at like 60 or 15 or I don't know, 80, 45. It's a matter of your inner development, spiritual development, religious development, faith development, right? So in Russia, same thing. We were born businessmen on August 22nd of 1991, and some people were young like me, and some people were old, some people were young adults, at any age. But we all started from zero as business people. We had no understanding of how it is to be creating quality product, how it is to be marketing it, how it is to be selling the product, how it is to be forming markets. Nothing. There was a, clean sheet of paper, just like this. That was the environment, business environment in Russia. And you know what we started doing? Learning how to inventing bicycle. You don't need to invent bicycles, okay? If you want to get one, go and buy one. People had done it before. But in Russia, we were inventing bicycles. For 10 years, we tried, we got, bumps on our heads. We had bad experiences, good experiences. It was a trial method, so to speak. And then what happened? A lot of companies, Western companies, they were scared to come to Russia in the 90s because it was wild. Mafia was rampant. It was dangerous. Crime, street crime, instability. But then, towards the end of 90s, situation started improving, and Western companies started coming to Russia. I think the floodgate was open in the year 2000 when Boris Yeltsin, transferred power to Vladimir Putin. That was beginning of the good times and economic development. The companies just flooded Russia. Every single large company, Western company, opened office here in Moscow and then started opening offices all over Russia. And there was tons of money here, tons of business. The demand for everything was sky high. Sales were absolutely fantastic. Expats would come and live in Russia, and they were living like high rollers because they were making so much money. Things were good here. But what was very important is Russian companies, Russian business people, they started learning from the Western companies, learning of ways of doing business. Instead of inventing the bicycle, you go and buy one and see how it's made. My wife started her own business in 1997, and she told me that she didn't know what to do. She was, she would trial and error. That's how it's called in English. She was doing business by trial and error. Okay, and she signed a contract with Philip Morris. You all know this company, okay? In 2000, and she first got into the office of Philip Morris, and the office was as Western as it gets, and she couldn't believe her eyes. It was run so professionally, she started learning from them. She learned about planning, she learned about scheduling. She said every time she would go in for a meeting, she would come back with ideas, okay? And she learned so much in the following 15 years. Everyone learned so much from the companies like, McDonald's. McDonald's leaving was a tragedy for Russia, personal tragedy for me, because I'm very, very connected with the company emotionally. I remember when they first opened, they show us a window to the West. And then for Russia, it's a tragedy because McDonald's was bringing technology of operating business. It's anywhere you go in the world, you will find McDonald's food tastes the same. And let me tell you, my friends, that takes lots of efforts, lots of knowledge and lots of skills to maintain this level of safety and maintain level of uniformity throughout the world, okay? McDonald's was number one, and it was teaching people who were employed at McDonald's, and it was teaching the competitors, Russian companies that opened, you name it. Russian hospitality learned so much from the companies like Hilton, Sheraton, Hyatt. We didn't know how to run hotels. But once you go and stay or work at the hotel, you learn. Then you leave the company, you start your own. This is how you learn how to do business. And it takes years and years and years. And Russia was a very young company, again, a very young country, not knowing how to do business. We didn't know, and we were learning. But 20 years from 2000 to 2020, 2022 is just simply just scratching the surface. It was not enough, but it was a good start, okay? You all know, I took you throughout Moscow, Rostov. I went to the restaurants. You all know how sometimes waiters behaved in the restaurants in Rostov, okay? I literally had to wave my hand to attract my attention. Very expensive restaurant. That's because Russians still learning the culture of hospitality, okay? And that's hugely important that there are examples. Western companies provide knowledge, they provide technology, they provide skills that you learn, acquire from them, And now, most of Western companies are gone. An example of Вкусная точка is a showcase. of what started happening in Russia. You can buy entire operation of company that leaves Russia. But buying is one thing. Owning and operating and doing business successfully, providing good quality product, showing level of consistency, show level of safety and professionalism is completely different thing. And I think that Russia is going to suffer greatly because most Russian foreign companies have left and there is no one to learn from. And that is another very, very bad thing that has been happening here in the last few months. You can call it tragedy, you can call it misfortune, you can call it whatever. I just think it's really not good for Russia. The only way Russia would go forward is learning from the others and adding its own things to what it would learn. Okay, that's the only way in my eyes. This has been my message. Please let me know what you think in the comments. Before I turn on the comments, I would like to give you a little update on what has happened in the last 4 days. Nothing extraordinary, nothing to worry about. I am very touched by a response of a lot of you. I got tons of emails. I just checked them today. I haven't been able to respond, and I will today to every single one of you. Thank you so much. It's very touching, very uplifting, knowing that you care, knowing that you worry, knowing you think about me, even if when I silent and don't live stream. I saw tons of comments because I tried to update you in the community section in the posts. I saw like thousands of likes. Thank you so much. You know, this pause of a few days, it showed me that I really need these live streams because they give me so much of a good energy. You give me so much of your warmth and your love, and believe it or not, I feel it. Okay, I felt that I missed the streams. I was missing them. You know, I felt very strange not going live and not delivering the message, and most importantly, not conversing with you. That was really strange. I promise you that, you know, as long as I can physically update you with messages and live streams, I will keep on doing that every single day. The reason why I did not do the streams, I've said it pretty much a few times. I came to Moscow. There was an industry event yesterday, and it was very important. It was life-changing for my project that I'm in, that, you know, I'm heading. I had been preparing for that for the past month, and then past 2 weeks were extremely busy, and the past 5 days were just, whew. In the last 48 hours before, in the previous 48 hours before the event on Friday, I slept for 6.5, 7 hours totally, and I ate twice. I just did not have time for either sleeping or eating. Imagine that. After I was done with the event, the presentation, you know, this whole work, Friday afternoon, I was thinking of doing the stream last night, but, you know, I came home and I collapsed and I couldn't do that. I was just sleeping for straight until the morning. So I physically could not do the streams. Now I'm back, and I'll keep on coming back every single day. And again, thank you so much for caring, for writing, for thinking about me, for praying, for sending love. No one knocked on my door. Don't worry about that. at least yet. So I was look at the picture, that thing in the comments. Please let me know if you found out what I was holding in my head. It looked a hand. It looked like a soccer ball, football. In the community post yesterday that I made from the event. So I will turn on the chat, the comments. Please keep the conversation civil. Think before you post. Thank you so much, and let's do it. Again, I'm in Moscow for a few days, and then I'm gonna go back to Rostov. If you want to learn what I think about Moscow, let me know if you have any questions. Moscow has changed a little bit in a couple months that I was absent. Gosh, it's really good to see the comments and everyone coming back. I missed you guys and girls. Thank you so much. So if you have any more questions about the event, I will be glad to let you know, to tell you more. Any more questions? And please let me know what do you think about my message. Mommy is number one today. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Toro 8 Star, Lorna, Samsa, Dirk, B-Man, IKDA, Blackett, Paul, the usual suspect. Howdy, howdy, howdy. So glad you're okay. Glad to see you back. Thank you. Thank you so much. Mix, we just celebrated 125th anniversary Thai-Russia here in Bangkok. Hope Russia find a way back to international community soon. My friend, I pray every single day, every single night for Russia to become a part of international community back again. Glad you're back. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm so glad to be back. Todd, howdy, howdy. Todd, hey, just get in touch after the stream. Emra Makers, Simon, American Girl, Mayrag. Fantastic to see everyone. Thank you. Brianna B is here. Excellent. Hey, it's a good message from Francis Banda. McDonald's only sells specific potatoes for French fries, and not every potato would use it for fries. They stopped because they deemed quality issues. I tried, perhaps I didn't deliver it well enough, but I went to local Pops and Mom's store in burger joints, two of them, and I asked, what do you use for potatoes? And they told me the usual brand that I buy, something Malinovka or something like that. I buy it at my local farmer's market, and we cook it, we use it all the time. And you know what? I understand they might buy specific potatoes, but if they run out of these potatoes, it only makes sense to replace temporarily with different kind and for 2 months, but not to sell French fries. Just beats me. Why? Granted, the potatoes are different and French fries will taste a little different, but people complain that these people do not, the вкусная точка losing business, okay? So it doesn't make any sense to me business-wise. We have a new sponsor, Daniel C. Thank you so much. Welcome to Inside Russia, Daniel. Ultra Sesi Becca, great to see you. Lorraine Proznovsky, excellent. Brady B, you're here. Hooray. Missed you so much. Missed you so much. It was very surreal not to do streams for so long. Well, I was busy, and I didn't even think for the last couple nights of that. But in general, this feeling of not doing streams, not going live every day was very strange. And the thing is, I wish I could make up somehow because I'm bubbling with messages. There are so many things have happened in Russia in the recent days I'd like to share with you. So you definitely keep on tuning in because there will be a message every single day. Laser wielded football, soccer ball, says Tony Wilson. Well, you are close. That's not our product. But a guy was making a presentation of new laser equipment, Russian-made laser equipment, and that was one of their products they did. They wielded a soccer ball out of titanium or something like that, like really hard metal or aluminum metal that's really hard to wield actually, and they used laser equipment to wield it, and as actually they did a good job. So I took a picture of that. So you are spot on. Morning from USA, Texas. Good morning, Fishman Hype. Welcome to wonderful weekend. Moscow is enjoying perfect weather, about 75 degrees, not too hot, not too warm. Overcast, sun, clouds, sun again, clouds. Typical Moscow July. This is one of the best places in the world to spend July. Not hot, not cold. Love it. Okay, I love heat. I'm a southern boy. Was born and raised in the south, and right now it's over 100 degrees in Rostov, 90s every day, and that's okay with me. But Moscow is quite something else. Everything is green. In Rostov, the color of all the nature is brownish because most of the grass is turning yellow and brown. It's just burnt by sun. And here in Moscow, everything is, very vividly green because it rains a lot. Simon, hi Konstantin, do you think that maybe oil or an other ingredient is the problem? No, I think it's the potato. I really think they ran out of potatoes, okay? They say themselves, they made a public statements. Oh, I'm sorry, we don't sell French fries because we don't have potatoes any longer. But everything is here. We don't have any shortages of anything in Russia. Potatoes on every corner. Well, again, granted, they're going to taste a little different, but heck, we will live with that for 2 months and then come back to your regular specific potatoes for French fries, okay? If it's really the true that you ran out of those special potatoes. Russell, missed you, Konstantin. Thank you so much. I lived in Lugano, Switzerland. I taught English as foreign language to the children of Russian businessmen. Wealthy people live in Switzerland. What can I say? You've seen a lot of famous people, I bet. King Nero's sending $10. We used to call Russians ineptness Soviet womble, and that is my theory as how the ball was dropped on having potatoes. That term is used in fun and not for harm. Over time, they'll figure it out. That would be true if this guy, let's imagine this guy buys McDonald's and he hires fresh people. They need to be educated. They need to get experience of how to run fast food business. They need to get a few years of experience under their belts. Then I would understand. Guess what? The guy who's the CEO of this new company, Вкусная точка, used to be the CEO of McDonald's operations here in Russia. All people who had been working for McDonald's for years, perhaps the decades, they came back. Same people. They have experience, they have the knowledge, they have the skills. The procurement, I absolutely am sure that all returned from retirement, so to speak, So to me, that's strange. Same people, different results. They must be doing something differently, McDonald's never, ever ran out of potatoes, specific potatoes, ever in Russia. It's been operating it opened in the USSR, and trust me, in the USSR was different. It was very difficult to get potatoes, to get anything, oils, everything had to be imported, shipped by planes. And still, McDonald's was working like clockwork. Over, 33 years? 33 years, not once McDonald's ran out of potatoes. Not one single time. Вкусная точка opens up. Oh, we don't have potatoes. Comes September, what's next? Oh, we don't have special oil. We're going to wait until it's, shipped. What's going to be next? They upset even the Russian Ministry of Agriculture. They released an official statement, okay, mocking вкусная точка, okay? That doesn't happen often, let me tell you. Anyway, King Nero, thank you for your super chat. And also, Bridget Apley, thank you so much for your message. Level plus, thank you. Location is different. Tea is the same. I brought it from Rostov. And who recognizes this teapot? Okay, there's a story behind this teapot. Guess, who is the first one to guess where this teapot comes from? I love the answer. Kazakhstan. Woohoo! Kazakhstan. I never streamed from Kazakhstan. I haven't been to Kazakhstan in a long time. Yes, Uzbekistan. Uzbekistan. So you guessed it right. Who was the first one? Kerstakan. Interesting. Uzbekistan. I think Simon was the first one. Uzbekst. Uzbek teapot, Turkey. Anyway, I bought this in Uzbekistan, and I left it at my friend's. And then he came back while I was away in Rostov. He came back, and I called him up yesterday. He came to Moscow, and he went to Switzerland for a week for training because he's the head of a large pharmaceutical company in Western pharmaceutical company in Uzbekistan. So he came back from Switzerland a couple days ago, and on the way to Uzbekistan, he flew actually back this morning. But he brought me this and a couple more things that I didn't have any space to bring with me. So it is indeed from Uzbekistan. That was my friend for a month. I streamed drinking tea from this thing. Tea was different. This one is much, much better. The design looks Caucasian. Sean, Walmart, I think this teapots like this, they originate, they manufactured in the same factory in China, and they shipped all over the world, including Walmarts in the United States, you know. That's real relic. Well, I'm not sure if it's a relic, but it's something that is dear to me because I've established a emotional connection with it, so to speak. You know, I'm actually in a very good mood right now because I'm so glad to be back doing live streams. There are some bad news in Russia. I mean, bad news come every day. It's a year of bad news, and when you think that the news are bad, then just it cannot get any worse. Something happens, and you go, "Oh my God." So anyway, but I'm somehow happy today because I'm just so happy to be back. Probably not going to be so happy tomorrow. Lucky Dame Preparedness here. Wow, long time no see. Good to see you here. Stream pod. I'm gonna take it with me because I drove all the way from Rostov to Moscow. I'm gonna take it with me back to Rostov and use it during my streams because that pot that I use in Rostov, it's kind of similar to this one, but that's actually not mine. It belongs to my sister-in-law, Natasha's sister, and I'm gonna give it back to her. And this is gonna be my official streaming pot. A couple things I'd like to actually share with you. interesting, well, a little amusing, a little sad. A lot of people somehow don't trust me. When I made a community post saying that, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be a live stream because I'm super tired, exhausted. I had only had like, 6.5 hours of sleep, 7 perhaps, something like that. People started calling me a liar. I mean, why would I lie? If I couldn't do stream for some other reasons, I would have just said, hey, you know what? I'm feeling like taking a day off. I am too tired. I need to take a day off or something, but I would say the truth. Why do people think that everyone around them lies? That really beats me. And I've seen quite a few comments like that, a lot of a lot of people concerned about someone had a talk with me and I stopped streaming. That's not. No one had a talk with me about streaming. No one's. I would find a way to let you know that somehow. I think that would be pretty big deal. And anyway, that's just amusing to see how many people don't trust you when you say such basic true things. We understand you're human. People are cynical now. I guess so. Lorna, party pooper. Lorna is not a party pooper. She's great, actually. She's number one. I don't have number one and number two supporters, okay? I have number 1.5 and number 1.5. That's Lorna and Mommy, because they appeared on the channel in about the same time, and they've been with me every single stream for the past, I don't know, 12 months. I think that's over 250 streams now. So Lorna, by default, cannot be a party pooper. She's party maker. Pinball preparedness. Hey, Pinball, great to see you. Welcome and thanks for showing up. We have one more mod today. Feel free to do whatever you want to. Great to see you. The royalty is here. That's what I say. I'm thinking of making a community post about pinball, and I'm going to tell the story how I consider pinball my godfather of YouTube. How my YouTube story basically started with pinball, and there was coincidence, I would say. I saw a comment from pinball, and then I replied, and then we conversed, shot back and forth a few times, and then we made like an interview, and the rest is history. It's a pretty good time. John Wakamatsu, Joy, miss me, the usual suspects. I missed you so much. It's crazy. Only 4 days, okay, but it feels like the entire life because I am so used to this schedule that I go live every single day, and then I like no days off basically. Until recently, that once I miss a day, it feels really really strange. Thanks for a super chat from TC. Maybe not potato issue. Maybe person in charge of procurement quit and new person not familiar with contract process. TC, strongly disagree with the last one, but I agree with the first sentence. Maybe not potato issue. Something tells me it's not potato issue, okay? Because that would be too easy, too dumb, I don't know, too simplistic. But maybe person in charge of procurement quit, a new person not familiar with contract process was hired. Why would you hire a person who is not familiar with contract process and no experience at McDonald's? If I was the owner of this operation, I would never hire a person like that. I would hire second in line, third in line, fourth in line. I'm sure in McDonald's there are, 1,000 people in procurement who know the process very well, okay? I would find a way to get the expertise, to get the person skilled and knowledgeable and experienced. Otherwise, it doesn't make any sense. Brianna, thank you so much. We learned in school that the Incas were the first to grow and harvest potatoes. Yep, they were. And the potatoes were introduced to Europe a couple 300 years ago, and they were considered as flowers first. They planted them as flowers, and then someone tried them, and they liked the potatoes themselves, and the rest is history. Peter the Great actually brought potatoes to Russia in 1790. No, wait. He went on it's called the Great Embassy to Europe when he was young, 1695. I think he came back, he spent 2 years in Europe, he came back to Russia, and this is when he brought the potatoes back with him. Lawrence, tasty but no papas. I suggest the new name. New name for what? For this stream? Parmentier is the inventor of potatoes food. I'm pretty sure he was. Tornado Matthew 1. Howdy. Yes, doing well. Just a little tired. I slept last night a lot. I slept this morning. I slept last evening, but still not enough, I need more sleep. So basically I'm good, but just recovering a little bit. Chris, what did the new owner of McDonald's branches have to do become the new owner? That's a good question. I think you're looking into the right direction. I cannot answer that. I don't know. But the question is very interesting and very, right? Did they perhaps also have to take over McDonald's contracts with the retailers? I'm pretty sure they did. They took over complete business, but I think it was acquired on pennies to a dollar. And what the owner, the regular franchisee, had to do to actually buy McDonald's operation in Russia. It's like someone just took and handed a hugely profitable business to you for pennies, Wow. Think about that. It's 1 hour. Lorna, mommy. Well, Saturday streams are always earlier. If it was a normal Saturday, and if I did the streaming every single day for the past 4 days, I would have missed Saturday. I would have taken Saturday off, okay? But since I missed so much, I decided to stream, but not just go around and show you things around, because I've said why I quit doing that before, but just like regular message, so to speak. I hope you like the message, and I hope you learn something new and interesting from this message, Kind of explains what's going on in Russia, and kind of explains the trend that is being set for Russia right now. And, Russia is kind of turning into a different direction business-wise. Joni Hapala, greetings from Finland. Let's hope right potatoes reach there. Welcome. And I'm going to have a very interesting video. I had an interview with a fantastic guy, Finnish. I don't know how you call it, Finn or Finnish. Anyway, Finnish. And we were asking each other lots of questions and telling good stories. He told me so many stories about NATO, about what the Finnish think about NATO expansion, the history of Finland, relationship between Russia and Finland. I think all of you who are in Finland, you're gonna love what I'm going to. Probably not disagree with everything that's going to be said, but please watch and let me know in the comments what you think. It's edited. It's going to be released fairly soon. I hopefully tomorrow. Not can't promise you, but I'll try to do it as soon as possible. So anyway, Lorna, mommy, I know it's time to wrap up, but if you have time, could we go for another 20 minutes or so? Let me know, please. KWNY Upstate, thank you for the super chat. Dealing with the potato mafia is dangerous. No potato mafia, no. There is no potato mafia. There are tons of different, it's market. You see, it's a very low entry into the potato market, so tons of regular people buy farms and grow and sell potatoes. And you can go to a grower directly. There are large growers, like, for example, my uncle, and then you deal with him directly, and there's no mafia involved. That's mafia is different. Potatoes, mafia free. HUD, I feel fairly safe. There are many rumors about that, but I feel safe. Potato Union, that's good enough. I like the name. Potato, the USSR, the Potato Union. Maybe the Hamburglar has a new sidekick. Hamburglar. Didn't get that, Tim. I'm sorry. Bob Dobb, when will McDonald's return? That's a very good question. And you know what? I would love McDonald's to return as soon as possible or ever return. It's just, I highly doubt that that's going to happen in the following years. This guy who bought McDonald's business here in Russia, I think there's option to buy this business back from McDonald's. And it's actually a very smart move because if things get better in Russia, then McDonald's can buy everything back. How much is going to be worth? I don't know. But again, it's such a tragedy because people, imagine that, people entered Russian market in 1990 and they had been developing it meticulously every single year. Every year was sales driven. They were trying to open more and more restaurants. It's basically like a battle every single year. Sales plans are set. Sometimes they're met. Sometimes they're exceeded. Sometimes they're not met. It's very tough business. And then for 30 years, people were operating in a situation like that of very tough driving business expansion. And all of a sudden, they just close up and leave like that. I think that people who had been responsible for McDonald's growth, and the growth was tremendous, let me tell you, anywhere you go to Russia, you will run into a McDonald's, used to run into a McDonald's restaurant. So those people who excelled at their work, I think they were devastated when they learned that 30 years of worth of their work is just going down the drain. I would be devastated. I don't know what I would do. That's just crazy. Anyway, Lorna Mommy, I missed your answers. We can stay, says Lorna. Mommy, yes, thank you so much. Yeah, let's stay. Let's stay just a little bit longer. The Hamburglar is a cartoon in commercials in the US. Hey, I'll tell you a little trick. What I did with Michael. Michael, he's a kid. And as soon as he started walking, we stopped by at food courts, go to shopping mall and stop by a food court. But I got him hooked on baked potatoes. That's his favorite food. We every time we go to shopping mall, he asks me, "Oh, Daddy, let's get the baby potato." It's called kрошка картошка, the baked potato. They cut it, and they might add like a coleslaw and mix it up, cheese and things like that. So we just get raw baked, but like not raw, but regular baked potato, a little bit of cheese, and a little bit of dill, and they mix it up, and it's just like mashed potato with a little cheese inside. So that's fairly healthy. It's baked, it's not fried or anything. So this potato joint is right next to McDonald's, and McDonald's had a little window at the waist height, just like Michael would come, and at his height, he would just look at the window and he would see toys. Okay, they did the window low just specifically for the kids to run into the toys. And the first time he saw that, his daddy, what's that? And there's a huge line of people, there everyone's buying hamburgers, and that's the toys from baby meals. How do you call that? Kiddie meals or something like that. Children meals. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. So, and at first I was like, oh no, if he connects the dots and he understands that if I buy him a meal at McDonald's, he gets a toy, that's where he's gonna eat, period. So I told him, Michael, look, this is a museum of toys. They rotate different toys once in a while. He goes, why is it here? I said, well, just for us to come and look at it. He goes, oh, okay, that's great. So every time we would get a potato, he would eat, and he's like, Daddy, I would like to go to a museum and look at the toys. And he would just run to that little window near the ground, and he would just, and it's all lit up, and this little tiny toys, figures are there. And he's like, oh, look, they have new toys. I'm like, yeah. And he never figured out, he never connected the dots. He never understood that once you buy a baby meal, you get the toys inside. So thank goodness. Potato, not keto. Well, it's still better than eating at McDonald's, I think. It's much healthier. King Nero, there's a rumor in the chat that you might break out singing. Please do not sing. What, are you making bets? That's funny. Gosh, it's good to be back streaming. It's addicting. Happy Meals. They call it Happy Meals here in Russia. I forgot because I never went to McDonald's. Sees YouTube. Wait until he figures out. He will not, because that's it. McDonald's is gone. I don't think that Вкусная точка is going to be doing the same thing. Gosh, if these people run out of potatoes, trust me, they will not put dots together to sell toys to get kids hooked on, toys and stuff like that. They're not, they have different agenda of their business. I don't understand what is the agenda, but they're definitely not to make money selling hamburgers and fries. That's what McDonald's is all about. No way, Joy. No, potatoes are not cooked, mashed, then formed into fries. No, they're just cut. They're cut in pieces. There's a spud, peeled, and then it goes into machine, vroom, and they're like French fries. They're not mashed or anything. They're just raw French fries, raw pieces of potato. You know, put them into oil, fry them, and eat them. That's it. Oh, come on. Whose birthday is that? I'm gonna sing, of course. Lorna Mommy, let me know. Sandy, having baked potato now. Good, good. Joseph, have you ever watched the movie The Founder? Oh, of course I have, a few times. It's a fantastic movie. I watched all well, it's not a documentary, but like movies about like business people, founders, and so forth. It's a fantastic movie. Of course I have. I showed it to Natasha. She has. She watched it. I feel like I started speaking worse English since I missed a few names. That's crazy. Joy, is there a Russian birthday song? Yes, there is. It's Happy Birthday to You. We sing it in English. So whose birthday is that? What? What? This is Lorna's birthday today? That's bad. I saw that Lorna. No, don't tell me it's Lorna's birthday. Oh, fudge. You you pulling my leg? Or are you for real? Alright. Now they're pulling my leg. They want me to sing the song to you. Alright. Whose birthday is that? Putin's birthday. Well, I'm not gonna sing the song to him. I see. Dirk was pranking, trying to. David, I'm not going to ever. I'm not ever going to sing that song again. I sang it for the video, and you know what? That was pretty embarrassing. It took a lot of efforts to convince me myself to sing the song. Be thankful that you didn't sing at this week's event. I actually spoke a lot. I did lots of public speaking. They interviewed me just off the event for like a TV station, but I definitely did not sing. Darla, what is McDonald's without fries? Exactly, exactly. What is McDonald's without fries? Mr. Boot. There you go. The contract McDonald's signed gives them right to buy back. Yes, I mentioned that earlier. Within the next 15 years, McDonald's will be back. The guy bought it because he knows he will sell them back for profit. The thing is, the guy could not buy it just like that. He needed to get permission. I'm pretty sure there were special conditions, and not just with McDonald's. Read between the lines. So that's much more than we think, than we know what's going on. Faith, in Spain, people say patata, not cheese for a photo. Yeah, we do actually do. We do something like that when taking a photo. we say titties, and everyone starts laughing, and that's when you take the photo. Lawrence, live love Five Guys, burgers and fries. Not sure if they had Russian locations. Fairly expensive though, 36 for 3 people. Wow, I tried Five Guys in Dubai quite some time ago, and it was extremely expensive. I agree, Dubai is very expensive, but the Five Guys were very expensive for just regular burger and fries. But it was really, really good. But I thought it was a local Dubai brand. Turns out to be there everywhere, huh? Marian, thank you so much for the super chat. Keep it real. Get all your sleep tonight, I hope. I will. I'm not doing anything. I'm done with the stream. I was thinking to do live streams for patrons and sponsors since I missed Friday. But either tomorrow or on Monday, and perhaps a little shorter this time, 30, 45 minutes, I will still do them. So please stay tuned. There will be an announcement in the community section and on Patreon as usual. I'll let you know when. Sing Uptown Funk. I'm not gonna sing anything. B-Man, glad yesterday went okay. Great to see you again. Thank you so much. Thanks for the super chat. I saw a couple comments from you. Thank you. I really appreciate of thinking about me, and it touches my heart, very touching. Yesterday went okay. It didn't go bad. It didn't go that well. It was, let's say, B, not A, but not C. What's gonna be a result of this event? We're gonna see within probably the next 4 weeks or so. I hope for the best. Learned quite a few things of what's happening in different industries here in Russia right now, because this was the cutting edge of like what is happening in Russia. Okay, I saw people of all kinds of walks. There are a couple politicians were there. A senator responsible for economic development. He was giving a speech, and they were basically telling how like it is. Okay, there were like 100 companies basically trying to survive, trying to learn what to do next, how to live in the future. Chuck Denver, thank you so much for your super chat. No message, but this is a message strong enough. And Johnny Angels are real. You know what? I totally agree with you. I think that angels are real. Thank you for the super chat. And fantastic name you have. Mr. Boot, thank you for reading my comment. Love from Canada. Well, it was a good comment, I was pretty sure Russia was the land of unlimited potatoes. Russia is producer number 3 in the world of potatoes, behind China and India. But the thing is, China and India, they must grow so much potatoes because they have so many people. They just, otherwise they would starve. When I was a kid, gosh, I personally hate planting and harvesting potatoes because that's such a drudgery, very hard work, not fun. At age of 5, they took me to help the adults because all adults, no matter what you did in the USSR, you had to plant potatoes, you have to harvest them. We went to the farm that you actually saw in a couple of videos of mine. That very farm, that very field, was a good part of it was dedicated to potatoes, and all our family would go there, and we would just plant potatoes, and then like my uncle's family was taking care of them because you just can't plant it, forget about them. You need to weed out weeds, and you need to, if it's no rains, you need to water it, things like that. And then comes late August, we all got together and we were digging, harvesting potatoes. And then each one of us would take like a sack or two home, and we had to carry it sometimes. I actually did carry a sack of potatoes, I think once, about 40 kilos, 80 pounds, something like that. It's like 75 pounds on my shoulders. You can't pick it up, it's too heavy. Someone picks it up and gives it like lowers onto your shoulders, and you actually walk with it. I was working out back then, so it was not a big deal. I did much heavier weights, so it was kind of like normal, but people were looking at me like I was just with a sack of potatoes on my shoulders. It was crazy. Hi Wook, thank you so much for 100 euros. Saw some data on decline in wage growth, yet raising inflation, which says a lot. I have some good information about you right now. In a healthy economy, wage growth should track inflation, but in Russia it seems to be deviating. Clear sign of a problem from economic standpoint. Look, this is the very latest information today. I went to my local shopping mall. Not the one that you saw in the videos, but like small shopping mall, very small one, but still like, a few dozens of stores located near like catering to local apartment tenement blocks, that where we live. I think you can see this shopping mall in one of my videos from late March of 2020. I was showing around when all the stores, there was a lockdown for COVID-19. But anyway, I was there yesterday. Holy cow. More stores closed. I mean, I expected something like that, but you know what? That's bad. You could see it with your own eyes. Business is leaving. I was thinking of actually going a little, like, very quick walkthrough without, like, much editing and just to show you, like, this is what's going on. Not about traffic was low, I don't know, was almost non-existent there today. Saturday, again, it's a decent day. Perhaps people went to Dutchess. That's possible. But the thing is, the stores are closed. How is this shopping mall going to survive? Because it's like 1/3 of the stores are closed. It's lost revenues, so much revenues. How is it going to pay banks? That's crazy. I don't know how these guys are surviving. And holy baloney, prices for food in Moscow are so much more expensive than in Rostov. It's unreal. A piece of smoked salmon, about 7 ounces, goes from 600 to 900 rubles. Okay? Now, don't convert into dollars, because I am paid, and we all in Russia are paid in rubles, not in dollars. Forget about the exchange rate and all of that nonsense. Just rubles. I used to buy it for 300, for 400. And that 400 was expensive. Most expensive. Now the most expensive is 900. 2.5 times. And guess what? Our salaries are getting cut. Well, in my company, a lot of people have been transferred to 3 instead of 5 workday. 3 workday instead of 5 workday. Because simply there's not much work. And a lot of people start getting laid off. Because simply this, how people cannot pay employees the wages because there's no work, right? But yet the prices for food have gone up so high. So much. It's incredible. I think that Rostov and the rest of Russia are going to follow this trend, because all things they start happening in Moscow. I'm gonna show you the prices. I took pictures. I was talking to Vasya Zangiev like a couple weeks ago, and he told me, "Hey, listen, the price is kind of like went down." Well, I'm gonna ask him, like, what the heck? I'm not making this up. I have pictures. Okay, 916 rubles for a piece of salmon, smoked salmon. Decent, but nothing extraordinary. Gosh. That's crazy. So definitely, you are absolutely right. And where you saw the data on decline in wage growth, it is a trend. The wages are in decline, and rising inflation is here. Okay, it's a fact. And I tell you what's going to happen now. The dollar prices in rubles for pretty much everything they went up, but the dollar exchange went down. The exchange rate. Okay, now it's at the very low point, and prices in rubles are here, and the dollar is here. Once the dollar starts climbing up, and it will, prices will also start climbing up, and they will get even higher. That's how it works in Russia, and this is how it will work this time. And there are some people out there that say, no, everything's fine, everything's normal. Whoa, we will survive, we will prevail, we will be fine. Okay, let's come back to this conversation about 6 months. Anyway, thank you very much for your super chat. That's huge, and appreciate it. They have an old saying, knee high by the 4th of July for corn. But the corn here is over your head by the 4th. I think in Russia, corn is over the head by 4th of July as well. High tones, Drifter, is it true that Russian citizens are leaving Russia in droves? Very interesting statistics was just released. There is a checkpoint between Russia and Finland, and it had been closed until I think yesterday. And yesterday was opened by the Finnish, and the Finnish provided statistics. According to the Finnish, in one day, 5,000 people left Russia. Just by having that number, right? Well, of course, they all haven't left permanently, right? Some will probably return. You need to compare with the statistics of people coming back to Russia. But you got to understand that it's easy, knowing that number, it's easy to multiply it and approximately get the number of people leaving Russia every month, every year. Just do the math. Turkey is having a tremendous problem, 70% up. Prices for real estate, for food, for things like that have gone up 70%. I think since the beginning of the year. DMC, please allow me not to answer this question. The question is fine, it's safe, but I will just not answer due to some safety reasons. David Moore, free the NHL hockey players. Are you telling it to me? I think, buddy, you are telling it to the wrong person. Greetings from Wales. Barbara, howdy, howdy. Ernst Whitman Zelensky sued Trudeau for delivering repaired gas turbine for Nord Stream 1. That's the Siemens turbine. I know that turbine very well. I know all turbines by Siemens. We follow this situation very closely here in Russia. It's in the news, and Russian news are providing the information like, oh, we won, the turbine is delivered, the Nord Stream will be back into operation, things like that. That's the general mood of the media. Daniel, do you know if any way of sending money to UK to Russia, from UK to Russia, or vice versa? You can send money, you can do the wire transfer, bank transfer from UK to Russia. Broken furnace, Happy vibes all from Santa Cruz. Fantastic place. Howdy, howdy, and say hello to Santa Cruz for me. Mr. Boot, it's crazy how access to food determines one's life. You could have a billionaire having all the material he desires, but if there's no more food, he's willing to do anything to eat. I know. When everything is all right, we don't think about things like that. But when everything is broken, then we see life at a different angle. Let me tell you, this is actually quite a deep thought. Ever since February 24th of this year, my understanding of the world has changed. I've started seeing some things at different angle. And plenty of things, okay? But definitely my life is divided before the 24th and after the 24th, Too much to talk, but there's definitely, I can see the chasm. That's old me and that's new me. And some things, not all, but some are seen completely different, a completely different color, I would say, DMC, thank you for understanding. Some things I just don't want to talk about, But you can always read between the lines. Dirk, you almost tricked me into singing. Lawrence Mitchell, I agree with your message. It's more for Germany than for Ukraine. Like, that's definitely Germany needs Russian gas at this point. It would be disaster if Russia would just stop selling gas. Russia wants to sell as much as it can, Don't misunderstand. They're constantly keep saying, oh, it's a suicide for Europeans to give up on our gas, on our oil, and things like that. But that's really a decision of Europe, right? If they want to commit suicide, well, they're free to commit suicide. It's their business. It's Germans' business. It's, Italians' business. Has nothing to do with Russia, right? Bonnie N, so many negative comments from your last stream. Did you lose very many subscribers? Let me check it out. I'll tell you right now. I would like to address the issue of the last stream. It wasn't a stream, it was a premiere. One of the days I couldn't really stream because I was busy, so I decided to pre-record and make a message. Let me see how many people I've lost because of that. Minus 35 subscribers. I saw the messages, comments, and people misunderstood my message grossly. What I was trying to say was Russia is not the only one to blame in the past, because Russia actually behaved normally until very recently, and I was trying to say that it took more than two countries to tango back in 1991, back in 1993, when things like key events happened in Russia. In 1998, in 2003, in 2008, in 2014, it took more than two countries to tango. That's when the diplomats must have done a different kind of job, different kind of negotiations, different kind of results. I believe that today's conflict, today's situation, has roots back then, 30 years ago, 20 years ago. And no way I was trying to take blame off Russia's shoulders in the last 4 or 5 months. Okay, no. I clearly stated many times that, hey, I'm not trying to take the blame off Russia. Russia is the country who pushed the button, okay? It's like when there's a murder happens and a person is arrested who murdered someone, and then he goes to or she goes to court in front of the judge, the jury, and they ask one simple question. Did you pull the trigger? And person can say anything like, you know what, that person was really bad. He was threatening me, or he was screaming, or he was too loud, or he meant bad, or something like that. That doesn't matter. One question in the court of law. Did you pull the trigger? Yes or no? So Russia did pull the trigger. Russia did push the button. Then there's no way around it, okay? And this is the point I was trying to make. So Russia, I'm not trying to take blame of Russia since the February 24th and on, but way in 1993, yes, the mistakes by American diplomats were made, by European diplomats were made. Back in 98, the mistakes were made. The things could have been done differently. Watch this movie called Charlie Wilson's War, and at the very end credits, like before the movie ends, he talks, and that's like the best part of the movie. You know, the USSR pulls out of Afghanistan, and that's it. The Americans pull out. They stop getting involved. And Charlie Wilson is like, wait, what are you doing? You know, we need to build schools. We need to educate the Afghanis. We need to like show them the life and so forth. And everyone's like, forget it, you know. Same thing happened with the USSR. Okay, Americans won and they just left. And that was a huge mistake. If they didn't make that mistake, things would have been different now. Okay, that's what I meant. And people grossly misunderstood, and they were saying that, hey, Russia is to blame right now. But I wasn't talking about right now. I was talking about 30 years ago, 20 years ago, 15 years ago. And Russia was okay back then, you know. It was a decent member of international community back then. It was making normal decisions. It didn't threaten anyone, or, you know. King Nero, thank you for super chat. 93 was a huge year to where we are now. It goes back to a certain treaty in the Balkans. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, and people don't understand that. Well, I guess it's me. I guess it's I failed to deliver the message. Okay, I should have like specifically just tell about that. But I figured that people would understand what I was going to say, and they totally misunderstood. But I guess I misrepresented my opinion, that's all. So answering your question, there are quite a few people unsubscribed from the channel, but you know what? What can I do? I'm not, you see, I can't say that I really don't care, I feel bad, but it's not my goal to get the subscribers, okay? It's my goal to get the message out, and that's what I am all about. I stopped looking at the subscribers, you know. Before the February 24th, yes, I was looking, oh, you know, so many people signed up, that's great, and so forth, you know. But I didn't really have any message. I just wanted to show Russia. I wanted to have fun in the process. I wanted to educate people. But after the February 24th, I want my message to be heard as much as possible. That's all. Red Eye, so why does Russia have potato problem? You must have missed my stream. I was trying to make a point that potatoes are plentiful, they're sold on every corner here, and you know, there's no shortage whatsoever. Russia is number 3 producer of potatoes in the world, and the production is just growing. It's not about Russia, it's about the company. Вкусная точка, used to be McDonald's. That's what the problem, inside the company. It's something's going on that I don't understand. By the way, I see a message from Bean Quack. Alaska is $5 per gallon for gas. Does it mean that the gas prices have been going down? would you please let me know? That's important. And I know that the price of oil has been dropping tremendously, and it usually results in price drops for gas in the United States. So is it the case? Are you paying less right now? Outdoor chilled. Cheryl, yes, I take it that the prices are dropping, right? Going down. Good. Good, 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 good. Janine, thank you so much for the message. Gas prices are going up in Russia. I pumped today. I paid not much of an increase, but I think it was 50 kopecks, which is like 1%, something like that. But they're going up. You watch. My prognosis that the forecast that they're gonna be going up significantly in about 3 months, something like that. Todd Milius, we in USA really need to understand the other perspective. We only get our politicians' perspective. Well, welcome to Inside Russia. That's exactly what I am doing here. I stream and I send messages, and my messages are what I see around and what I think about the events. Okay, no more, no less. Because I film videos, my camera does not like. My camera does not lie. Still haven't slept enough. Okay, my camera does not lie. I show you what I see, and then I give you my opinions of that. Northern Grace is here. I need some more tea. And I think we need to wrap up soon. LS, I am in a remote location. Yes, I am about 15 miles away from the Kremlin, from the Red Square. Well, you can say that's a fairly remote location. I can see the Moscow city. I can see the Kremlin from my window. Basically, I live on the 24th floor. So Kremlin is this big. Bob, great to see you. I don't remember. I acknowledged her. I said or not, but Bob, wrap up soon as in another 30 minutes. I was thinking about like 27 minutes. Janine, local filling station dropped prices. Now everyone complaining about traffic congestion. Yeah, same thing. People gotta have something to complain about. I know it's the same thing here. Mr. Boot, I think they failed because McDonald's business model is very strict in quality control, and I think the new Russian management is not trained this way. It's too big for them. I disagree with you. It's hard not to agree with you that McDonald's has one of the best run companies in the world. Business processes there are just cutting edge. Okay, and I actually made a video about that. I'm gonna give you a link right here, right now. So please watch the video. Why? In March, I was saying it's a tragedy for McDonald's, for Russia, that McDonald's leaves Russia, because McDonald's is such a tremendously great run company. Hang on one second. I'm gonna give it to you. And they have fantastic operations. But where you're wrong is that the new people don't know. The new people are the old people. The general director of McDonald's, of Вкусная точка, is the general director, former general director of McDonald's. All people from McDonald's came back. Okay, so they know their thing, their stuff. This is the video. Please watch it. I explained exact this thing, why McDonald's leaving is super bad. And this new company, it cannot replace McDonald's as we see, moldy buns and stuff like that. By the way, I'm in Moscow now, but I haven't had tasty period. I will only have it if I film, which I don't plan in the near future. Every other YouTuber out there filmed вкусная точка. I don't plan on in the future on doing that, and I definitely am not going to eat there. They can leave all the burgers and no fries to themselves. That's funny. Seeker of knowledge. I remember when the first McDonald's hamburger was served to the Russian leader, he didn't know how to eat it. Which one? Was it Gorbachev? Latu. How are Siemens and ABB doing in Russia? How's their business? What do you mean? You have not heard? They left. Everyone's left Russia. Siemens, well, it wasn't one of the first ones, but Siemens has left. They left the service department, but I think they're wrapping up the operations. ABB, I haven't heard of ABB actually, but I'm pretty sure they left as well. I mean, no one is staying here. Big truck, big RV. Thank you for the super chat. Love hearing your perspective on what's going on. Next time you're in the US, let's collaborate. My friend, I would love to collaborate with you. It's just, unfortunately, I don't know when I'm going to be in the United States next. If only I was free to decide, Let's put it this way, there are circumstances. It's not the KGB, they're not holding me or anything, there's just some circumstances. But thanks for the super chat. And I checked out your channel, by the way. You're huge. You're great videos, great content. Love it. Brad, I ate at the Pushkin Square McDonald's in 1991 several times. There was nowhere to eat. To get a quick bite when walking around the city center. I remember those times. It's too bad we didn't have video cameras. That would have been a great film content to go back and see. Think life was so different back then. You have no idea. Even I, myself, a person who was raised in that, who lived through that, I myself look back and I go, that's like different life. That's like a movie, It was so different. It's like living on Mars. Well, Brad, you know that because you visited Russia in 90. Mr. Boot is on fire. Good questions. But you see what Mr. Boot is doing? He puts @ sign and my name, and that way my name is highlighted in orange. And I can see the messages clearly, and I just, pick them up. So if you want me to see your messages guaranteed, do the same thing. Put first @ inside Russia, and then type your message. In caps, preferably. Maybe it's also cultural. If an American sees a hint of mold on a bread shipment, he will throw everything. A Russian will say, it's only this batch. The others are still good, I'm sure. Yeah, you're right. You're right. one of my former employees, we ended up being good friends. He went to the United States 20 years ago as a part of work and travel program, and he worked in, I think, in Tennessee in a summer camp for children. He worked in the kitchen. One of biggest impressions that he had about the United States is how much food was thrown out at that camp. They made tons of food every single day, and at the end of the day, there were no leftovers stored. Everything that wasn't eaten was thrown away. He couldn't understand, and he was so shocked. The food was good; it wasn't rotten or anything. In Russia, they would just refrigerate it and heat up the next morning and would eat it. But in the United States, big no-no. Everything went. You know, that's a huge cultural difference. Marilyn, thank you so much thanks for coming back. Thanks for watching. Nikita Khrushchev was from Ukraine and he ate at McDonald's. Yeah. He's the one who took Crimea out of Russia, because Crimea was part of Russia, and he changed the borders and he gave it to Ukraine. That was his personal decision because he was from Ukraine. It's like, imagine this situation. Manchester, New Hampshire, right? You all know the place. It's right on the border between New Hampshire and Maine. So a governor of New Hampshire, or actually the president of the United States, comes and says, okay, you know what? I come from Maine and New Hampshire. Why don't I just, it makes sense that New Hampshire, the Portsmouth, no, not Manchester, Portsmouth, New Hampshire, right? It just becomes part of Maine. And then he makes a law that Portsmouth, New Hampshire becomes Maine. Okay? That's how Crimea joined Ukraine in 1962, I believe. Okay? That's how it became Ukrainian. Before it was Russian. I'm not saying that anything by that. I'm giving you a history lesson. Nikita Khrushchev was something else, let me tell you. She spit it out. Free state, New Hampshire. Yeah, live free or die. I never forget. That's what they have on license plates. Michael Sullivan, love Portsmouth and Kittery. I used to work in Portsmouth for like 3 or 4 months. It was a good place. A good friend of mine lives in Portsmouth now. Kittery, I went through Kittery, never stopped there. We used to go to Portsmouth to shop, to buy big things like TV sets and stuff like that. The Best Buy, because no income tax. In Maine, you'd pay 7%. In New Hampshire, nothing. Approaching 2 hours. Okay, gotta go now. Shame on you revealing my name highlight technique. Now I don't feel special anymore. I'm sorry. That actually works very well. I use it myself in other streams. It's hard to miss your messages. And I see others started picking up too. Georgia Family Dog Tales. Cheryl from Georgia. Howdy, Cheryl. Glad to see you smile. Yeah, I'm so glad to be back. It's uplifting. I can't say I'm addicted, but it really changed my life. I'm absolutely being honest with you. Okay, I missed the live streams. I was trying to think what actually I missed about it. It's the conversations, conversing. It's like I feel that this energy is some kind of created scent. I don't know, love scent. It's difficult to explain, but that feeling is here. Enjoy your streams with my husband. Wow, great. That's family entertainment Saturday afternoon. Blessings to you and your family. Thank you so much. Same to you. Sending love to Georgia from Russia, from Moscow. Lawrence, I doubt Khrushchev foresaw. Me too. He didn't plan that far. Okay, he wanted to make a present to Ukraine, to certain people in Ukraine. There are tons of rumors about that. Anyway, Mary Doran, welcome back, Constantine. Hope you're well rested. Kinda. Thank you so much. Great to see you. I'm from place you can hide. Chowchilla, California. Crimea was ceded back to Ukraine in 54. Okay, 54. That, could no, it couldn't be 54. 54, Stalin was alive. Let me double check real quick. Am I missing my years now? 54, 19th of February, 54. I thought it was 62. My father was born in Crimea in 52, and he was born in Russia. And he didn't get the passport of Russia, but in his passport, when he was 16, it was written that he was born in Crimea, RSFSR, which is Russia. Okay. So, but yeah, my mistake. I thought Stalin died in 53, I think. Gosh, I'm getting old. Brianna, thank you so much. Khrushchev gave to the Ukrainians SSR Crimea 54, and Duma was only half in session. Duma. Duma. It wasn't Duma. It was called differently. The Soviet Duma was. I forgot. Anyway, decisions were made by the leaders back then, and Duma would approve anything in the USSR, anything that it was told to approve. So it was not a democracy, really. My friends, wrapping up, thank you so much for coming back. Thank you for conversing. Thank you for sending love. Thanks for commenting and thinking about me while I was away. Fantastic to come back. I'm really, really glad. Definitely message tomorrow and day after tomorrow. There will be one day I will miss the stream again. I will be driving from Moscow to Rostov. But I might film the experience because it's very strange this year. Traffic is very light compared to other years. Last year, traffic was much, much strong, like bigger, heavier. Anyway, so it's going to be either Tuesday or Wednesday. Not sure. I haven't decided, depending on the meetings on Monday and Tuesday, how they go. But there will be message every day except for driving. Thank you so much. I'm very glad to see everyone. Fantastic stream, fantastic day. I'm feel rejuvenated and uplifted. Thank you. As usual, I would like everyone to join me in prayer and please, dear God, thank you so much for giving us this fantastic weekend and fantastic Saturday. Thank you for putting food on our tables, giving roofs over our heads, and surrounding us with people that we love and care and who love and care for us. Thank you so much. Please help our children, protect them, keep them healthy and safe. I would like to ask to stop the bloodshed in Ukraine as soon as possible, to reach out and touch the hearts of all people who make the decisions to stop the bloodshed. Everyone, you know better than me. Please reach out and touch hearts of the leaders, Vladimir Zelensky, Vladimir Putin, Joe Biden, Justin Trudeau, the leader of Great Britain, the people who call the shots here in this world. Please reach out and touch their hearts Fill them with love, compassion, mercy, forgiveness. Make the heart softer so they just get together and collectively end the bloodshed in Ukraine. Help everyone who's been affected in Ukraine. Please help. Give people strength, give them forgiveness, please hear their prayers and make their wishes come true. Send angels to help everyone in Ukraine, the soldiers, the civilians, the Ukrainians, the Russians, other nationals. Thank you. Please help everyone who's helping. Ukrainians who's opened their doors of their homes, opened their wallets, opened their hearts, sending prayers and good wishes. Please help those people. Help all pregnant women who are trying to make decision whether to keep babies or not. Reach out all their hearts and talk to them so they make the right decision. Please help people who are fleeing their countries and running for their lives, seeking refuge. Send good people their way and give them strength and help them, please. Please help my country. Send an army of strong angels led by Saint Michael with sharp swords to get rid of the demons that have hijacked my country and have angels run my country and make it shine again, make it righteous again. Please, once again, help everyone in Ukraine. People really, really need your help. There are so many of them. Thank you for bringing us here in this live stream. Thank you for making this virtual community a real one and bringing us all together in prayer. Hear everyone's prayer here in this live stream. Answer everyone's prayer and make everyone's wish come true. Please help us to grow our children in the way that when they become adults, they will make this world a better place and they will never have wars with one another. I would like to mention a few people. I would like you to send them help and listen and hear their prayers and make their wishes come true. They are Nain Veka, Michael, Ellen, Elena, Natasha, Jake, Michael, Oля, Dasha, Sky, Bonnie and Igor, Buzz, Anne Mary, Jean-Paul, Paula, Janine, Michael, Marlene, Narnian Lady, Susan S., Freddie, Sabrina, Stephen, Ellen, Martin, Allison and Dave Moyers, I Found Waldo, Liz, Deborah, Donald from Wisconsin, who's asking for himself and his country, America, Ariana, Liz, Bruce, Kayleen, Michael, Thomas, Tony, Bob, Jessica, Minutes to Midnight, and Sandy. I would like to ask for 3 children who need your help, and the family of the children also need your help. Please show your love and miracles to Maverick, Sebastian, and Britzel. Show the miracle to them and their families. Thank you very much. Dear Jesus, amen. My friends, thank you for coming back. It was so good to be streaming again. I will see you very, very soon. That's going to be tomorrow. I have a good message for you. Actually, a few messages, and I need to decide which one I'm going to deliver. Hope you liked my message today, and you're awesome on your rock as usual. Mods, thank you very much for coming back and doing fantastic job. Thank you. I will see you soon, very, very soon. I will see you tomorrow. Now I have to stand up and physically press the button.